The RNC has zero editorial role, none, nada, whatever. The news organizations will never, ever allow that to occur. Never. So just know that that's the case. The Young America's Foundation is a partner to this debate, and we asked Scott Walker earlier today how that worked. He said that they taped at their convention a series of questions, a bunch of them, right? And then they handed all of those questions over to Fox. Fox can pick and choose which ones that it wants to use, how many it wants to use. So Young America's Foundation, let's just say, and he didn't mention this, let's say they gave him 20 questions that students asked at this convention they were having. They might pick 3 or 4. Now, they know what 20 were asked. They don't know what ultimate ones are going to get picked. The only people who probably know what questions are going to get used are the moderators, Brett Baier, Martha MacCallum, and probably some of their bosses. That's it. Those are the only people who have any sense of what happens. So anyway, that's kind of the question thing. And like I said, I do think, which is a side note to this question, how they utilize those questions. What percentage goes to Trump? What percentage goes to allowing them to talk about themselves and issues? The thing I've always had as a frustration about Republican debates is you're supposed to be helping Republican primary voters make a decision, not get ready. So talking about abortion 8 times when everyone's pretty much there seems to be, you can probably get it out in one question. Anyway, the last question that somebody asked was, what happens in the spin room? So the spin room is where everybody goes afterwards, the surrogates and the candidates. Now, Donald Trump made the spin room kind of a big thing after the 2016 debates. He went personally, no shock there. And you go around and you talk to the outlets. Now, if you've had a strong debate performance, you want to limit that, because the last thing you want to do is you want to kind of do no harm. Let your debate stage performance stand. If there's something you want to clean up, then go talk to them. But the clips are going to stand. So it's where your surrogates flood the zone and say you won, you kicked butt, you destroyed the other person, so-and-so failed. It's all about setting expectations and kind of trying to create that little game afterwards. Now, we had a Zoom call this morning about the debates with Scott Walker and Mark Halperin. I want to show you something really interesting, because Mark Halperin, I think, is one of the best source journalists. He has seen all of these things unfold over many cycles. He had 5 really good predictions that I want to show you. Kind of lay the land for us. What are you hearing from the campaigns as we head into these final few hours?
I think there's 4 big dynamics right now, and we've just added a 5th. One is so much pressure on Governor DeSantis. There's just a ton of pressure on him, and he's got one of the best debate coaches in the country working with him. But he's got to be bigger than everybody on that stage.
Brett O'Donnell's his name, right? And
Brett O'Donnell.
Yeah, he's been
brought in relatively late, and DeSantis has gotten better on the stump lately. But how good can he be tonight in a format where, are the moderators going to let him have more time than everybody else? Number one. Number 2, Governor Christie. I ran into him last night. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be super aggressive. How much the moderators tee him up? I think they'll tee him up a lot, because I think he's the best show on the stage, and they need a good show. 3 is Vivek comes in here hot, obviously, comes in here as a target. He's made a ton of mistakes. He makes tons of mistakes. His supporters don't care. But people are acting to some extent like he's at 30 in the polls. He's not. He's not in double digits. But I want to see how he does and how much pressure he's under. 4 is Trump. Donald Trump isn't here. His people are here in force. They have a very sophisticated plan to dominate this. They took a bunch of reporters out to dinner last night. They're a presence on the street. The Tucker interview is going to unfurl during the debate. They really want to dominate, even without a candidate here. And then last, CNN is reporting Governor Burgum has gone to the emergency room in after a pickup basketball accident. Obviously, I wish him the best and hope he gets better. I thought he was actually going to be a kind of a quiet force tonight. If he's not on the stage, it's bad for him. I don't think it affects things overall.
All right, well, that last one, by the way, we're at least hearing reporting that Burgum will be on the stage. He had gone to the hospital. We recorded that early this morning, obviously. And by the way, if you want to be part of that, go to my locals page right now. We've got another call tomorrow, seanspicer.locals.com. Join the VIP section, and you can be part of that. Tomorrow, we're actually going to take some questions, I think, and throw some analysis. But I love what Mark did. The other thing that's, by the way, who is here, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the DNC is here. The DNC came. Now, I did this at 6 years at the RNC. We went and bracketed them. They did a debate. We'd go there. We'd talk about why their candidates were horrible and why we had a better way of life. We had some fun ways of doing this. We would hand out tchotchkes and little branding things. We would roll billboards around. We did this at the DNC too, right? So you go to their event, you counter program. You're trying to sell everyone on why, their candidates are stuck in the past or moving in the wrong direction. So actually, it's funny. I give them some credit for actually doing this because in the last few years, they've been horrible at it. And I was actually always didn't feel like they were a worthy opponent when I was at the RNC. I mean, we literally dominated their debates. I got questions in the Twitter feed on the debate stage at one debate that CBS was moderating. I mean, that's ridiculous. They were reading a Twitter feed that was me in real time at that debate, which is insane. But that's effective. Getting under their skin, making them respond to the RNC was great. They're trying to do that here. I give them credit for showing up, okay? But check this out. They put a billboard up. They put two. One goes after our candidates. The other one touts Biden-Harris. They were able to come up with 4 things, okay? They talk about women's rights and protecting it. I'm really not sure they even protect it, but I get it. That's their shtick. Okay, number 1, creating jobs. Okay, let's just not deal with that for a second. Number 2, though, lowering prices. Did anyone, what, did they just not have a 4th? I mean, I don't get that one. Lowering prices on what? I mean, again, you've got a media that's like, oh, he lowered prices. That's their shtick? The biggest thing that we're facing is inflation around this country. I mean, food, supplies, rent, interest rates are through the roof, and they're lowering prices? Dude, who's ever doing their billboard, what were you thinking? Did you guys not fact check this thing? Oh my gosh. But anyway, they are here helping the Milwaukee economy. We'll see how much of an impact they have. I don't think between the Donald Trump, Fulton County indictment and the debate tonight, they're going to break through a lot. But just because they're here doesn't mean they're doing a good job. It just means they're here. So again, sometimes you get credit just for showing up. I'll give them the credit for showing up. I'm not really giving them the credit for doing a good job. So as we head in tonight, couple takeaways. Remember, where you get your analysis from is going to matter. The mainstream media is focused entirely on Donald Trump. Should he be here? Should he not be here? The impact he's going to have. And their ratings. That's it. The reason this show exists and the reason I wanted to do this is because the process is bigger than that. This is a race for delegates. I don't care who does great tonight. I don't care if you have the biggest breakout. If you can't tell me how you're going to accumulate delegates and win, it doesn't matter. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.